So, you're looking for a dog trainer here in Odessa, Texas. Well, you've come to the right place. We're going to walk through everything you need to know to find the perfect professional so you and your dog can really enjoy all that West Texas life has to offer. Life with a dog in Odessa is pretty unique. One minute you're enjoying a nice walk through Sherwood Park, the next you're navigating a busy intersection like 42nd Street. Having a calm, confident dog just makes all of it so much easier and, frankly, safer for everybody. And that all starts with good training. Okay, here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll talk about why training specifically for life in Odessa matters. Then, how to actually find your trainer, what it might cost, and what you absolutely need to ask them. After that, we'll get into the local rules for dog owners and wrap up with some great local parks and resources. All right, let's get into our first section, training for Odessa life. We'll look at what it really takes to prepare your dog for the realities of living in West Texas. This is where a local trainer can be so helpful. They get Odessa. They understand the kinds of things that might startle a dog here, like the sounds from oil field traffic. They can help your dog learn to be cool and calm around that, and teach them how to be polite when you're at a park or a dog-friendly patio. It's all about skills for the life you actually live. Section 2, finding your trainer. So, what should you actually be on the lookout for when you're trying to find a true professional? Okay, one of the biggest green flags is a trainer who uses positive reinforcement. It's a modern, science-based method that's all about rewarding your dog when they make a good choice. This builds a fantastic bond based on trust, and that trust is what leads to behavior you can really count on. Now, you might see a bunch of letters after a trainer's name and wonder, what do those even mean? Well, they're a great sign of professionalism. Something like CPDTKA means they've passed a tough exam on training knowledge. A CBCKA shows they have expertise in more complicated behavior issues. They're not just random letters. They prove a real commitment to their craft. All right, let's talk about the different ways training is offered. You've got a few main options. Group classes? They're fantastic for practicing good manners with other dogs and people around. Private lessons are perfect if you want to work on something specific at home, like maybe too much barking. And then there's board and train, which is an intensive option that can really speed up the learning process. On to Section 3, understanding program costs. Let's talk about what you should expect to budget for dog training here in the Odessa area. Just to give you a quick ballpark figure, a single 1-hour private lesson around Odessa is probably going to land you somewhere in this $80 to $150 range. It's a good benchmark for what a professional's dedicated time costs. And this table gives you a wider view. You can see that a 6-week puppy class or a group obedience class is pretty accessible. In-home packages, which usually include a few sessions, offer a lot of value. And then board and train programs are a bigger investment, but they're designed for really fast, immersive results. Okay, let's move on to Section 4. This is your cheat sheet, really. These are the essential questions you'll want to ask any trainer before you decide to hire them. So when you have that first call or meeting, it's good to be prepared. First, ask about their training philosophy. You want to make sure it's all about positive methods. Then, ask about their certifications. Talk about what you want to achieve with your dog and see what they recommend. Find out how they'll keep you updated on progress. And of course, always get a clear breakdown of the costs. All right, Section 5, Odessa Dog Owner Rules. Part of being a responsible dog owner is just knowing the local rules of the road. This one is really direct, but so important. Here in Odessa, your dog has to be on a leash that's 6 feet long or shorter, and they have to be under your control anytime you're not on your own property. It's all about keeping your dog and everyone else safe. And this isn't just an Odessa thing. This is a Texas state law. Every single dog is required to have a current rabies shot, and you need to have that little metal tag on their collar to prove it. This is a big one for public health. So that naturally leads to a very common question. Do you need to get a separate city dog license here in Odessa? And the answer is pretty simple. No. The city doesn't have a separate licensing system. That little rabies tag we just talked about, that's your official proof that you're following the law. So just make sure it stays on your dog's collar. And for our last section, let's get to the fun stuff, local parks and resources. Because once you've got some new skills, you need great places to go practice them. Odessa has some awesome spots for this. University Park Dog Park is fantastic because it's fenced, making it a safe place to work on off-leash skills, like getting your dog to come back when you call. The paved paths at Sherwood Park are perfect for practicing that nice, loose leash walking.
And Moss Creek Park, with its big open spaces, is great for working on focus when it's not too crowded.
Look, finding the right trainer is just that first step in a really amazing process. With their guidance and a little bit of practice, you'll be out there confidently enjoying everything Odessa has to offer, whether it's a neighborhood walk, a trip to the park, or just relaxing at home with your happy, well-behaved best friend.